Last episode I had gotten my firework rockets, and in this episode I'm going to head to the end, beat the ender dragon, and find some elytra. Just another day's work for your boy Raj. First, I need to get some supplies, since apparently I have one piece of dirt in my ender chest. Nothing against dirt, but that is pretty lame. Plus, I need to get into the end. I need to find a stronghold to do that. I grabbed a ton of pumpkin and melons to farm some emeralds from the villagers. I used all of those emeralds to buy ender pearls from the clerics, as I need them for the eyes of ender for finding the stronghold for the portal frame. Plus, I need ender pearls for the ender dragon battle. Even though I don't use them often, ender pearls are insanely useful, and I probably should have them in my inventory all the time. For the ender dragon battle, I need a good bow, but this wasn't it, as it had no durability, but I crafted a brand new one. Then I put the enchantments on it. I did make a big mistake here, as I forgot to put the infinity enchantment on, which is important for later. You might want to keep note of that. Bookmark it, if you will. I did put on power, unbreaking, flame, and punch onto the bow. Power increases the damage it does by a lot. Unbreaking for the durability reduction. Flame doesn't do damage to the ender dragon, but you can see the direction your arrows are landing. And punch also doesn't do anything on the dragon. Might as well just load up the bow with as many enchantments as I can for when I need to use it later. I loaded up my ender chest with extra supplies. Now it is time to find the nearest stronghold, which probably is thousands of blocks away, hopefully it's not more. I threw the first Eye of Ender and it went southeasterly direction. Eyes of Ender have a 25% chance to break when thrown, yet most of the time you can recover them. Now I just got to walk a couple hundred blocks and throw another Eye of Ender to see if I'm going in the right direction or I'm going in the completely wrong direction. Honestly, I threw a lot of Eyes of Ender and probably not that far apart. Eventually, when I got 2,000 blocks south and 600 blocks east of my base, I found the spot where the stronghold was, as the Eyes of Ender were going down to the ground when I threw them. As soon as you find one, you have to dig down to hit the central staircase, which is the center of the stronghold. Just like that, you are in the stronghold. From there, I was only looking for the portal room, but on the way lighting it up and looting chests. The only unique type of loot that you can find in a stronghold is a smithing template, which I did not find, but I didn't go thoroughly through the stronghold. Oddly, there wasn't very many hostile mobs. Also, there was a cave that cut part of the stronghold in half, but eventually I found the portal room, although it took a while. Then from there, the obvious thing to do was to destroy the silverfish spawner, completely ignore the end portal, and build a nether portal to make it easier to get here. Mine through the netherrack to set up my nether portal to get here. My nether portal network looks very, how should I say it, functional. I should build this into something cool down the line. Right now I gotta focus on the task at hand. Once I set up the nether portal, I kind of rushed into things and put all of my Eyes of Ender in the portal frame. I jumped into the end. Sorry for wearing the carved pumpkin, but I don't want to deal with an enderman while I'm battling the ender dragon. Endermen are kind of like me, they get really angry if you look at them. First thing you gotta do is to knock out those end crystals, or else they will regenerate the dragon's health. I got up to one of the higher ones and knocked out that end crystal. I was able to hit a few other ones from that high point. I guess that's why it's important to have the high ground. Rinse and repeat with the other end crystals. Rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, when I destroyed all of the end crystals, the dragon hit me with the dragon's breath on top of the pillar and killed me. Considering the way I died, it would be really easy to recover my items and continue. So I jumped back into the end when I respawned inside the portal ring. It was easy to recover the items. I was afraid of accidentally angering the enderman, so I was looking down before I got the items. The rest of my items were on top of the obsidian pillar. Here was an insane moment when I threw the ender pearl at the top of the obsidian pillar and accidentally hit the ender dragon flying by, and I was dropping like a rock into the void. Luckily, I was quick on the draw and threw an ender pearl to hit the side of the island. That was a really close death that would have really sucked. From there, it was just shooting arrows at the Ender Dragon flying by. The Ender Dragon's attacks are very predictable. As long as you keep moving, you shouldn't get hit. The Ender Dragon's attacks are based on the location when they start their attack. If you stand in one spot, you will get hit. Also, hitting the Ender Dragon on the perch in the head. This is a little more risky as you can get hit with the Dragon Breath or just get hit when they fly off. Here is where not putting the Infinity enchantment on my bow bit me in the rear leggings area. I ran out of arrows. When this happened, I could only attack the Ender Dragon when it was perched. It was going really well and I was actually pretty close to beating the dragon. Then this happened. I got hit by the Dragon's Breath right in the center and died. Like before, this wasn't a big deal. I could recover my items easily. I mean, I died right in the center of the end island. But I needed arrows and headed back through the nether back to my base, grabbed some golden carrots and arrows, and I jumped back into the end for the third time. However, there was an issue as I forgot to get a pickaxe, and I usually do not put a staircase when I enter the end, which I should do from now on, so I could not get up to the island. Since I'm in the end, there is no way to get back and get a pickaxe unless you die. I made the obvious choice, dropping all my supplies, and specifically my arrows, taking a jump into the deep dark abyss of the void, to die in it, and to respawn in the portal room to get back to my base. I grabbed my pickaxe from my base. Unfortunately, I had a bit of an issue traversing the nether, as the magma cube was so big that it actually blocked my way from getting through the tunnels. I had no weapons and I couldn't move around them. I just mined around them to get past it, back to the end portal and jumping in for the fourth time to the end. Got the arrows and golden carrots. It was easy to recover all of my items from when I died. I barely did anything before the Ender Dragon killed me for the third time. I'm not sure what happened. It's a bit confusing looking back. It looks like I got hit into the void. The problem was I didn't reorganize my hotbar to have ender pearls even though I tried to get them. I couldn't get them in enough time. That was the mistake I made that I made reference to in the title. I didn't organize my hotbar. Based on the title, you would think that would be the point that I rage quit. It's a little clickbaity. Well, more like a lot clickbaity. However, after losing all of my stuff, falling into the void sucks. I did start trading with the villagers to get XP and emeralds for the trades I needed for all of the enchantments, and there was a lot. I even brewed some potion of weakness to cure villagers and made some rotten flesh trades. But after that, I needed a bit of a break, or else I probably would do the exact same thing. And that is where it ended. And after 6 months, I am back and ready to finish the battle with the dragon, which is long overdue. I'd already gotten most of the enchantment books to put on my new set of armor and tools. The one problem, got no efficiency villager, and that's a hard villager to get. But I grabbed a villager from the villager breeder and boated them over to the villager trading hall. Did the old piston trick to get them over the side, eventually got them into a spot. It took a seriously long time to get the efficiency 5 trait, a really long time, but Raj got it eventually. With that, I just bought all the remaining enchanted books I needed from the villagers. Here they all are, for everything like armors, tools, and weapons. Losing a whole set of armor is really costly and time consuming. Now I just needed a lot of XP, and the best way for me to do that right now is by villager trading. A lot of villager trading. Luckily, I had temporarily gotten a discount with the clerics where it was only 1 or 2 rotten flesh for an emerald. Once I had the stash of emeralds, I just bought random things from the villagers like maps, lanterns, and item frames. While I was doing that, I would periodically put enchantments on one of the pieces of gear, in this case the bow. Obviously I made sure and double checked and triple checked that I had put the infinity enchantment on this time. Here is the finished armor and tools. For the armor, I didn't put thorns on anything, since if a pillager attacks you and dies from the thorn enchantment, you could get the bad omen effect and trigger a raid. Plus, I like to run around the pillager patrol so they just shoot each other and I don't have to do anything. I also make sure to have fire protection on one piece of gear so I'm not on fire for as long. The tools, everything was silk touch except for one fortune pickaxe. I think that is enough, and it is time to gear up for the end. And away I go. Honestly, it took me 3 shots to finish off the dragon. I was being extremely cautious for obvious reasons. The end gateway generated in a really weird spot. It wasn't over the island, but out over the void. Eventually when I got there, and I did the old trapdoor trick to make me crawl and slide through the gateway. Luckily there was an end city and end ship close to the spot of the end gateway. Time to do one of my least favorite things and place blocks over the void. I'm surprised I haven't broken the shift key on my keyboard with how hard I pressed down on it. Once I was close enough, I ender pearled to the other side and did the same until I got to the end city. At that point I just wanted to get my elytra, so I made a weird decision and used some blocks to try and go up to where the end ship was. It was a weird decision because I got hit by the shulker projectile and levitated up to the end ship. I guess it ended up working out in the end. I finally got my elytra. After that I did battle with the shulkers for their oh so useful shells. I ain't good with my shield. There was a lot of levitating and shooting arrows. I did end up with a good amount of shells, at least enough to make it easier to transport blocks for the farms. Before I left, I wanted to do one more thing, which was to get a backup pair of elytra. There was a second end ship close by. Now I have my second one if I fall into the void, or if I fall into lava, or if I just fall. Now there was nothing to do but place all of the enchantments on the elytra and absent-mindedly combine the 2 elytras so I don't have a backup. Yeah, I did that and I didn't realize it until a lot later, but I did get the 8 shulker boxes. I thought I would end this episode by just flying over my base to see what everything looks like, and it looks a lot cooler from up here. It feels good to be back. I have a lot of ideas for future episodes and projects that I want to do. Thank you guys for watching.